Yeah. On-chain revolution, you're not bullish enough. On-chain revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Roll call in advance, you don't even gotta mention. I swap it in the decks, you're not bullish enough. Trade it in the segs, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. The Shizzy and Joggle beat. On-chain revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity, flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. On-chain revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. PYUR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gon' end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me no way. On-chain revolution, here to stay. Yeah, say I'm Sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah, Nicky's. Yeah, on-chain revolution. On-chain. Hey, on-chain revolution. Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recap, then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, yeah, send it to the deck. Sell it through the spec. Ordinals the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to read. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee pad. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Bridge. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to On-Chain Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin, crypto ecosystems. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live for another On-Chain hour, and this one is going to be absolutely amazing, guys, because I have a co-host today. I have Adev Aarons from Trac, the whole 9 yards over there, guys. This is going to be really amazing because, like, I feel like we've been neglecting Trac, Tap, and that whole ecosystem over there, and really haven't really dug into it. They're building some really cool stuff. They got this thing called Hypermall, which he was just kind of explaining to me, and my mind was kind of blown. So really haven't dug into that. So today we're gonna dig into that stuff. Obviously we'll jump into some topics. We'll do the roll call, Bitcoin price action, and everything here, guys. Bitcoin is looking really good right now, a little under 93K. You know, we've been saying it for a while. The M2 money supply. Bitcoin's following it. Bitcoin's like a 77-day lag behind it. So we're gonna be catching up. This summer is gonna be really big, guys, and when Bitcoin rises, you're going to see a lot of Bitcoin assets move up. If you're not really familiar with the Bitcoin assets, it's time to start getting into them because we feel like Bitcoin assets are going to be one of the huge catalysts of this upcoming bull run. And we want you guys to be educated on that. We want you guys to be ahead of the curve, right? You have to put your attention to where people are not putting their attention right now, because that will actually give you the advantage when that attention comes. So really looking forward to the Bitcoin ecosystem this cycle. And without further ado, let's bring in my co-host for this evening, Adev. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, everyone? How's it going? Excited to be here.
Thank you so much for coming in for Yagobi today. Yagobi is on vacation. I've had guests all week, man, and really appreciate you giving us the time.
Yeah, for sure. Super excited to get into it. Yeah, I mean, the summer low might not be a thing this time around. We might actually see that I didn't realize it was a 71-day lag or 77-day lag, but that's crazy to think about because M2 supply has been going nuts.
Yeah, 100%, man. You know, we are. I mean, you can't sell in May and go away when you haven't made any money, right? So it's kind of like what's going to happen. And what normally happens is the opposite of the previous year, and it's looking like potentially, we were really bullish 2024 from January to about April, and completely died off until November. So this one, I'm kind of saying we're kind of bearish from January to about April, and then maybe doing the opposite, maybe blasting off until November. But who really knows, right? We can only speculate on that. But I would love to kind of get into who you are, maybe your background a little bit, and tell us a little bit about what you're doing now.
Yeah, for sure. So my background, I've been in crypto Bitcoin for almost 8 years now. Or yeah, 8 years. Wow, crazy to think about 8, 9 years. I've been in this. It's just like it feels like a black hole. You just get sucked into this world and you just don't want to leave, at least for me, maybe from your perspective as well. So I haven't left this world, been in it for quite some time. And yeah, I started as just a hobbyist investor and then kind of found my way trying to figure out how I can provide value, help kind of expand this space. And I'm not the most technical person, but I'm also not a dummy. I can kind of understand some things on the technical aspect, and I thought I could utilize those skill sets for marketing or business development, and kind of found myself all around the ecosystem. And I was with if you guys might know who I am, possibly maybe through Genie Data, was over there for a couple years, and we did some crazy good things for the Bitcoin ecosystem.
Yeah.
And slowly kind of just really wanted to make an impact, because I think we're only 15 years in this world of blockchain tech, or just the idea of peer-to-peer technology, peer-to-peer distributed data streaming in a sense, right? And I decided that I wanted to give my full time to this a while back. And I found my way, like I said, in other roles throughout the space, and just really trying to help all I can do with trying to get this space adopted as quick as possible. So I think this first 15 years was building that infrastructure. Now the next 15 years, we're going to see this space expand beyond our even craziest imagination. And I think we're going to see Bitcoin and possibly other projects and altcoins do something that are going to be absolutely ubiquitous to all of society, right? It's going to be it's going to be part of everyday society without us even realizing.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
100%, man. Yeah. So you gotta break it down. You're a Bitcoin investor. You got an opportunity with Genie Data, and Genie Data it's still kind of my go-to place to check my portfolio and stuff. And now you kind of moved on to Tap and Trac. First, could you explain potentially the difference between Tap and Trac, and or are they kind of like the same company, and then kind of get into why you joined there?
Yeah, for sure. So I joined. So Tap and Trac are all under this umbrella called Trac Group. So if you see my title, it says BD lead at Trac Group. So Trac Group encompasses Trac, Tap, and Pipe.
Okay.
And currently we're really focusing on the development of Trac, but there are some things ongoing with Tap. We have a lot of things going as far as bridges that we've built, and other partners or builders on top of Tap trying to build other things as far as bringing more liquidity to Taparoo Swap, building DMT collections, building Launchpad for DMTs, building Tap tokens, or inscribing Tap tokens. So that is all part of the ecosystem. And so Tap is this meta protocol in Bitcoin. It's a meta protocol that is similar to what Runes is, but it's more of a programmable token. So you can do more things on top of Tap, right? A lot more. Runes would be considered more of like everyone has their own take on Runes, but you can inscribe or etch tokens on Runes, and that's really about it. That's all you get right now with Runes. And same thing with BRC20s. With BRC20 2.0 is coming out with something just as powerful as what we're doing with Tap. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But yeah, currently with Tap, we have Taparoo Swap. We have a couple different ways of feeling the DeFi the touch of DeFi on Bitcoin all through Tap. So right now you have the Taparoo Swap, you have programmable kind of smart contracts like DMT, and other forms of it through NAT tokens. So really interesting stuff happening all in that world. And then we also have bridges that are coming to Tap. So we have the Ethereum bridge live, so you can bring Ethereum based assets to Tap or Bitcoin. Basically, you're getting the Bitcoin exposure through the Tap protocol. And then we have we have two other bridges. One is Tron. We just recently announced, and it's been live for a couple of weeks now. So we have Tron assets able to come. And Tron, whether we like them or not or whatever, they're the top chain for minting stablecoins. So they have a ton of liquidity slushing around there, but they also want exposure to the Bitcoin side of things, which Bitcoin has a ton of liquidity there. So there's a bridge from Tron to Bitcoin, which is through Tap. And then as well, we have ICP and that bridge from ICP to Tap. And we have another bridge that's going to go live relatively soon here. Don't want to spill the beans quite yet, but that's going to be going live relatively soon. And we'll have announcements around there. And that's a pretty big chain as well. It's in the top 20 for all coin market caps. So all these people want exposure to Bitcoin, right? And they're getting exposure to Bitcoin through the Tap protocol. And that's a very important thing to keep in mind here when I start speaking on what Trac is. So that is Tap. And most of you guys probably know Tap or have some idea of what Tap is, but that's the Tap protocol.
All right, yeah, I got that for sure. We were doing Tap Tuesdays for like three months. It was really good. We talked to a lot of Tap builders. It was really awesome here. And then what is Trac doing now?
Yeah. So Trac, this is so that's awesome that you guys are doing that. I wasn't even aware of that. So that's awesome. You guys gave Tap the exposure that they honestly rightfully deserve.
Yeah.
But so Trac is it's been around for almost 2 years now, or actually 2 years, I think, right around this time, to be honest. But it was first created as a decentralized Oracle solution for Bitcoin, which is funny because decentralized Oracle solution / indexer. Because it's funny because I was with Genie Data, and we were more of like the centralized indexing solution, which most people were happy with at the time. But what Trac created was this new innovation of like decentralized Oracle solutions and indexing all through the Trac ecosystem. And the first
time I actually used Genie Data was to look at my Trac assets, because I remember I had a whole bunch in my wallet, and they're actually the Tap tokens were minting. And I remember, I think it was you tweeted or someone tweeted about Genie Data being able to. You guys had the first dashboard for some of these Tap tokens. So you guys, I felt like Genie Data and Tap were kind of very very early, and kind of meshing together in the very early days. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, for sure. I remember Tap was getting a lot of traction early 2023 or mid 2023 when Ordinals was like starting. BRC20s was starting to take go get on that pedestal, and then Tap came right after that, and it was a really interesting time to like. It's been around for a while, and I'll be honest, this hasn't gotten the recognition and traction that they deserve for what they've been building and what we have built. Now that I'm at the team, it's like what we have built, right? And I think with something powerful, and that's why Trac. I'm excited to speak on Trac, because Trac is really powerful. So we went from this decentralized Oracle solution to an indexing solution to now something more profound and more and can have a real big can actually change the whole way we see the Bitcoin ecosystem, and not just Bitcoin in general, crypto ecosystem. It has that implication behind it, where we're able to now we're expanding to become an L1. So Trac is now going to be this L1 that isn't the typical L1 that you would think about, which all L1s are blockchains. This one is a blockless cryptographic data stream of transactions happening. And that's like the simplest way to think about it. And that enables one of the massive problems that we see in blockchain solutions, which is the scaling issue. And the scaling issue we've seen go to L2s and subnets and all these messy things that other L1s have done. So what this enables for Trac is it enables this massive scaling to happen all on the L1 itself and all within the application layers too, which I don't want to get into that part, but basically Trac we're now building this L1. And the first feel and touch you'll be able to get with this is through Hypermall. And Hypermall is this DEX, but has the same type of feel and touch of a centralized exchange. Kind of like some of the bigger centralized or decentralized exchanges like Hyperliquid without the margin trading and derivative trading, but it gives you that feel and touch that you can get with trading. But one thing that Hypermall does enables fees, $0 fees. So there's no in-app fee, there's no fees when you're trading. Instantaneous transactions happen instantaneously, and as well, you're getting all of that on Hypermall, but utilizing the Trac network. I'll stop there, but that's kind of like the idea.
Yeah, I just have a few questions on that. If you can, does the Trac L1 have a name yet? Do you guys named it yet, or still?
It's Trac Network.
Okay.
So make it simple, easy, right?
So Hypermall is going to be DApp running on top of this, correct or no?
Yeah. That's
okay.
The idea. So Hypermall. So when Hypermall goes live, which we made the announcement, if you go to Trac _BTC, which we'll eventually change that, but if you go there, you'll see that Hypermall is coming out May 15th.
Oh, wow.
It's coming up soon here. Yeah. So we're doing all we can to get it out by that time frame. Technical things happen, but we want to get it out by then. So that will be live Hypermall, but Trac Network won't be live right after that. It'll take a month or two for Trac Network to be fully live, where devs can come on their build, and it'll be this fully open source network, right? But we wanted to release Hypermall first so people can understand the power behind the Trac network. So Hypermall will be this powerful network, or be powerful decentralized application, if you want to call it, or just application, right? On Trac. And the powerful thing about this, with the reason why it's important to know what TAP is before what Trac is, even though Trac came before TAP in the whole scheme of things, it's important to know what TAP is, because we have all these bridges from bigger chains, and we have all the Bitcoin native assets that TAP, has, whether it's TAP and TAP protocol, TAP tokens, or DMTs and other things of that nature. But then we also have this Bitcoin world right here. So the first thing the first pair that's going to be live on Hypermall will be TAP Gib, and then we're going to start enabling other pairs on the Hypermall. It'll be more TAP tokens, and then eventually we want to enable runes and BRC20s, and it'll be as simple as depositing, withdrawing onto Hypermall. So you can deposit your TAP tokens, your rune tokens onto Hypermall almost instantaneously with almost no fees, and that's going to be the power of having it on TAP, right? Because you'll be able to do that right away. And hopefully we can do the same thing with runes and BRC20s, BRC20 2.0s, and others. You'll be able to do all of that on the Hypermall application. So then you'll be able to trade instantaneously, zero fees on Hypermall, and get all of the power that you would like to have on Bitcoin that you get on Hypermall.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you can find all this information, I'm guessing, over on the Trac, this right here, like the Trac Twitter, right? Or X?
Yeah, Trac. Yeah, the Trac, Twitter, X. Also, Medium. We have some great articles on Medium. I don't want to get too deep into some of the things, but it's going to be really powerful because the Hypermall app is going to be a desktop app. So you're going to download the desktop app, but when you download that desktop app, you're considered a node operator. So you're a node operator on the Trac net on the Hypermall network.
So me downloading the app to is it going to be like a browser app, an app on my phone?
It's going to be a desktop app. So you
Okay.
would
Okay.
download it like you would download
Okay.
a Telegram, like
I got
Telegram
you.
app, right? It'll be something of
Okay.
that nature. And then you're able to, then you'll be considered a node operator, and you're basically transmitting data because you're part of that network now. So you're transmitting data to the next peer that's also in this network. So that's going to be the people that are distributing this data are the node operators, which are people that have downloaded the app and are utilizing the app whenever it's, on, or, it can even run subtly. So in the background.
Gotcha. And in that app, I can go in, I can trade, and also it's just basically an app that I can just go in and use and do my transactions, but I'm also earning potentially, right? Is that
Yep.
kind of the concept?
Yeah, you
Okay.
also, yeah, that's the concept. You wouldn't be a master node, but you'd be a node operator on the
Okay.
application itself. So that's what I was talking about earlier with the app layer. This is going to be a function of not just Hypermall, but of the whole Trac ecosystem. There will be this whole Trac ecosystem, and then there'll be these applications that you build on them, and you could all be node operators if you download the app of whatever that was created, and you are basically part of that application ecosystem by just downloading it and utilizing it.
Amazing. Yeah, dude, it sounds really awesome. Hypermall. Is there a reason for the name at all? Because when I think of Hypermall, I just think of, I don't know why, I think of like a big building with many stores. Is that kind of the concept, or?
Honestly, that's a good question. I don't really know. I want to say it's a play on words on hyperliquid, all these other there's a lot of different
Oh, I didn't
hyper
even think about
things.
hyper. Okay, I love it,
Maybe.
love it, because you're right,
Honestly,
because
I
it
didn't
is.
ask the team, but it's a great question to ask.
But yeah, so I'll be depositing my Bitcoin assets in the Hypermall, super quick, right? You said how many transactions per second? It's something crazy, right?
Oh yeah. So if we get to a pretty large scale, which is around 3,000 master nodes, all on the Trac network. This is the broader Trac network, and then we have many different, sub nodes, if you want to call them that, node operators on like Hyperliquid. We can get up to 1 million transactions per second, and then as well, the time a finality of each transaction can get up to 1,000 transactions per second. Like, so the finality is really important to think about, because most traditional financial companies and other blockchains don't have finality right away. It's typically a couple minutes to some have a couple days. With Trac, it's all going to happen almost instantaneously. The finality of each transaction and the transactions per second is going to be insanely quick. So this is all going to be happening on the network. I don't want to say on chain because it's technically not really a chain, right?
Yeah.
We're getting away, but it's going to be still decentralized. And that's the powerful thing about it. That's what blockchain typically does. Is blockchain is this powerful thing because it's a decentralized peer-to-peer network, right? But we're still keeping the peer-to-peer decentralized aspect of it, but it's not in a blockchain form anymore, the data.
Gotcha. So it's kind of like this hybrid decentralization, centralization, so it's, yeah, I like it. Yeah, it sounds awesome.
I wouldn't
I mean, at
say
the end of the day,
I wouldn't even say centralized. I would say because there's so many nodes that are operating it,
yeah,
like if there's a ton of people that are operating it, everyone's considered a node. So that makes it even more decentralized than a typical like a typical even like a Bitcoin, because it's a lot harder to be a node in Bitcoin. With Trac itself and the application layer, everyone can be a node operator on the application layer of Trac. Right. So if there's over 10,000 people that have downloaded Hypermall, they're all can be node operators of Hypermall.
gotcha.
So it makes
Yeah.
it even more distributed, the network.
The building. Let's just is the Trac team going to cover all the building, or do you guys actually have builders coming in and building on top of this? Do you have is it to where you're going to have teams come in and this team's going to build this team's going to build this, or is this going to be a Trac building area?
Yeah, it's a great question. Obviously, that's how networks spread
Yeah.
and how you get innovation on the network. One of the things that we're doing at Trac that's really powerful too is you will have, if someone uses your app, you get paid for it. Currently, that's not how it works, right? So that's an important thing to keep in mind. Just simple terms, if someone
Yeah.
would use your app, you can have fees. Like you can put a certain fee on what you can earn per like transaction fees that are happening on the app. You can take a royalty from that.
Gotcha.
So
So if I
that's
build like a pump fund model on there
yes,
and I'm
exactly.
banging out meme coins, I can potentially get a piece of the action as well. So
Yeah,
kind
something
of
like that.
okay.
Exactly. I know
I
Pump Fund
gotcha.
makes money from there. I think they make money
Yeah,
from,
they make
but
make money everywhere.
yeah, I'm pretty sure they make money from. They have fees on their on the like the minting aspect of it. So like, but I'm not. Is Pump Fund actually on? Yeah, it is on Solana, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
they're
a
a dApp on
Solana-based
Solana.
app.
They're yeah,
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's similar concept. Yeah, similar concept to
yeah,
that, right? But it won't just be for like a pump fund. It'd be for any application, basically.
gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense, 100%. All right, you want to hit on anything else on that, or you want to kind of move along?
Um, no, I think that kind of covers
Yeah,
everything. We're coming out soon. I think just keep updated with our X. I think anyone who does want to build, you'll have the option to start building on Trac within the probably near Q2, beginning Q3, and we'll really start doing some things as far as building momentum on that end. So, but yeah, no, I think that's kind
awesome,
of
man.
covers everything.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. I definitely see that like Benny's been had his head down building since I want to say like June of last year. He's really just been kind of building Tap, and then it seems like it's always something new. And then Taparoo swap and everything that's happening with the ICP and the back end, and yeah. So we'll see what comes next, man. It's all about getting the users, but Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. So we'll see. I mean, we're in a very bearish time. So we're not seeing viewers, we're not seeing users, but if you guys have all this stuff built out, and we're talking, the bull is on, everyone's excited. QE is happening. Liquidity is all around. You can definitely see something like Tap being utilized pretty often.
It's funny that you say build it and they will come. Like I used to I tend to agree with that, but then nowadays it's like there's so many things happening, so much noise. Like I
Yeah.
mean, look at Pump Fund. They're like pumping out how many tokens a day, right? Like 20,000, 30,000, like something like that, right? Something
Yeah.
ridiculous. Even if you look
But they
at
all
like
go
the
to zero.
stats, they all go to zero. Yeah, but it's just so much like noise happening, and
Yeah.
there needs to be something that sticks out. Like I would say build it and they come, but the best tech doesn't always win, sadly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you look at the internet, the framework of the internet, the HTTPS, like what we're utilizing every single day of our life, of our existence, that
Yeah.
wasn't the best framework. There was some other framework that was even better, but it didn't get adopted like this one did, right? So it's the same concept even in this crypto world, in any tech world. It's like, yeah, if you build it, some might come, but you need to build it, and you also need to build a lot of hype. You need to build network effects. You need to build other things that make people want to stay.
Yeah. 100%, man. All right, all right. Let's kind of get into the global M2 money supply versus Bitcoin. So there's been a lag of 77 days. So this leads about 77 days on this specific chart here. You can see the correlation, dude.
Mm.
The ecosystem, nothing really happens until Bitcoin moves, right? Bitcoin kind of has to move first, and then you're gonna see just like we saw last year. I mean, 2024, right? You saw in November, Bitcoin had that big move and everything kind of started to move with it. Bitcoin kind of lagged off in December while everything kind of hit in January, but Bitcoin fell, everything fell with it. So we need Bitcoin to go up. We need this. We need the $70,000 Bitcoin in. It's looking like September. But what do you think about this chart, man? What do you think about the correlation of the M2 money supply with a 77-day lag on Bitcoin?
I mean, that's kind of what Bitcoin was made for.
Yeah,
Bitcoin was made for this for this extra money and liquidity slushing around in the whole in this new world order, in a sense, right? Like after 2008, 2009, they were like, okay, well, if you can print money this easily, let's just build this really secure network that can just lock up this money. And this was in development in the 90s and early 2000s
yeah,
as well, like some type of network like this, right? But still, like that's exactly why Bitcoin has succeeded the way it has, because it went through all the different different test and you know, different I would say like test and other things that like really showcase why this could be an asset, a long-term asset that isn't just a fad. It's like an overall, like, it's a new, completely building a whole new industry, a whole new model of how finance and you know, this whole new world order is now. This is a new world order, right? Bitcoin. But being able to just print money out of thin air is why Bitcoin is what it is today. And that's never going to change. After 2008, they opened up the Pandora box, and now we're seeing it in real time that this is actually one of the best correlations. Like, I used to look at the Dixie. When the Dixie went down, Bitcoin would go up, but this is an even better correlation, right? Like, this is beyond like the most. This is what, from the last, how long is this chart from? You can't see the bottom.
I mean, this one right here is about June of 2024. So that's when the sideways was, and you saw us were kind of sideways as well, all the way up until November, and that's when they started printing money, right? You saw they started printing money in November, and they kind of slowed down going into the election, or going when Trump kind of got in office, and it's starting to go back up now. So, and then you're probably seeing the money supply go up because of tariffs, right? Countries are worried about, you know, what's going on, and, you know, making sure that, you know, they don't go bankrupt, right? Countries can go bankrupt. I don't think people really understand that. And Bitcoin's price action is a consequence of them printing money. So it's like they get scared, they print money, Bitcoin goes up. It's just kind of like this correlation of fear. But the one thing that this chart really isn't showing, and so all this money printing is happening while the U.S. is still in quantitative tightening. The U.S. is not printing money right now. We haven't started to buy bonds out of the market. We haven't. Everything. The U.S. is still tightening. So this hasn't, in my opinion, this $170,000 Bitcoin that is kind of priced in my opinion, is just the early days. I think we could have insane year where Bitcoin hits potentially 300K this year, and my target has always been 700K for the cycle. And everyone calls me nuts, but I think by next April, Bitcoin's sitting at around $700,000 due to the global financial situation that I think we're going to be in. I think the money printers for every country are just going to be off the rail. Inflation is going to be rising, but rates are going to stay low because, I just can't see them with this new administration raising rates, especially with Trump in.
I mean, so you think quantitative tightening is going to stop relatively soon here?
I think quantitative tightening stops May 5th. Quantitative easing starts in June with some rate cuts.
So that's going to be the meeting. The meeting's going to be an announcement of quantitative tightening stopping, but no, yep. Like, because we were talking earlier about Polymarket, and you don't think they're going to cut rates.
So Polymarket is 90%. Polymarket's been dead right pretty much about everything. Polymarket says it's going to happen 90% of the time. And if it's that high, if it's 60-50, okay, there's a chance of it, or 60-40 chance going the other way. But when Polymarket is set for 90, I mean, there's people betting their hard-earned money on this, right? There's people betting for a living on these, and they're betting 90% chance of no rate cut in May, but then a 45% chance of a 25 point or 0.25 cut in June.
Okay.
So, but that's still kind of low. And then July is like 58, and September is like 75. So we'll see. Those numbers will change if. But you had Trump come out yesterday and basically say that he wants them to cut rates now. So if Powell kind of says, okay, you know what, I'll give you this. We'll stop tightening, and we'll cut 2.5. I mean, the markets could go absolutely insane. This is when you could see this giant line up here. This could be that Fed meeting where we just kind of explode. So
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think that, so I do think there's a lot said there. I do think that quantitative tightening will stop like soon here. But also the economy, and we were talking about this before, the economy has been honestly doing pretty well for what Jerome Powell was given in 2018. He started there. He's been in a Fed Reserve for a while, the chairman for a while, but he's done a good job, right? But I don't know if he's going to, if like maybe quantitative tightening stops, right? Because there's like, we're not in the best place. But also, if you're looking at the tariff talks, it looked like it was all just like this smoke and mirror game.
Yeah.
And it looks like the tariffs are going to come off the table completely for all the other countries except China. That's kind of like the talk, 90 days, whatever. Like, there are going to be some negotiations, but maybe we do win in some of these trade talks, which is actually good for us and economically. And then with China, it looks like we're going to be like, I saw somewhere on Twitter, not sure how true it is, 50% instead of 100. We're only going to give a 50% increase of tariffs instead of 150, right?
Yeah.
So with all of that said, economically, we won't suffer that much anymore, as much. It won't be as bad. Jerome Powell will take this all into account, and he's definitely not going to cut interest rates. He might tighten. He might stop tightening, but I could honestly see him not stop tightening and be like, here, like, we're still in a good place. Even with all these tariff talks, even with all this scare, the markets are rebounding. There's nothing that's going to break in the system. Let's just keep at the status quo. And I could easily see that being a big thing for Jerome Powell and like and the Fed Reserve. And I could definitely see, like, and on the dot plot, I think you said it says June there's going to be a cut, and then another 75 basis point cut later on in the year, right?
45% chance, so it's under 50 of a rate cut in June, and then 60% chance in I think it's August or September, whenever the next one is, and it gets higher and higher as the year goes, right? With the back end of the year being potentially where the cuts are, but who knows what happens, right? So if anything, though, I do think we're going to go to quantitative easing by the fall. Can you agree with that? I think we'll be in a position where the Fed is kind of selling or buying bonds from the market, because that's the thing right now. You're seeing gold fly up, and why is that? It's because China is dumping U.S. Treasuries. China is dumping the dollar. You're seeing the Dixie kind of fall down, and you're seeing China actually buy gold with that money. Right. So, and if the China is dumping the bonds in the market, you're seeing guys like Warren Buffett, who has a ton of money on the sidelines, actually coming in and front running the Fed and actually buying the Chinese dump. So you got these bigger investors coming in, and they're buying the bonds pretty cheap before the Fed does. And I think that's usually a sign that the Fed will probably be next. But we'll see.
That's a good. Do you have? I didn't really see that. Do you have like some reference points for that? Because that's important to note. You're right. Like if Warren Buffett is buying it and Berkshire Hathaway and these other big firms are buying it, like that's a good point. That's a solid point, because that's definitely showcasing that, like, there will be more interest rate cuts. Either to tail end of the year, like you said, or even sooner than that. Honestly, so it's a good point.
Yeah, man. But we'll see. Bitcoin flips Google to become the 5th largest asset globally. So Bitcoin is now the 5th largest asset in the world. It's right there. So we're going back and forth right now. Bitcoin's dropping a little bit. I don't know what Apple's doing today, but this is incredible. Bitcoin, in my opinion, will pass gold in the 2030s. And I think in about 10 years, Bitcoin will be that number one asset. I think there's a lot of reasons why I think that, but mainly because Bitcoin supply drops and they're finding more gold. They're finding more gold every day, right? And
but what's your prediction on market cap for gold? What do you think market cap of gold will eventually be? Because that's interesting that you say 2030s.
Yeah, I think gold gets to about
700K. Isn't that like, that's almost gold? 700K this cycle. Not quite there, but
no. So 700K will put Bitcoin right at 10 trillion. So 700K puts Bitcoin like 10 trillion. I think gold will be 20, right, this cycle. But I think Bitcoin still continues on that. I'm predicting $8 million in 2028 per Bitcoin, and I say that because of big
Wait, what'd you say?
Flow. $8 million by 2028. By 2029, 2030. And I got some thing on that. Let me bring up the
$8 million?
Yeah. $8 million by 2029.
But then wouldn't that be above gold then at that point? Right?
So yeah, that's what I'm kind of. So I think gold still does its thing. So right now, I think gold gets to about 30 trillion, probably within the next 2 years, which is a
Okay.
double from where it's at now. And I think Bitcoin gets to 10 trillion. So when Bitcoin's at 700K, it's a $10 trillion asset. So when Bitcoin gets to 7 million, it's going to be a $100 trillion asset. And I definitely think that's possible. Because you have to remember, the big boys are finally allowed to play, right? So the big
800
boys are
trillion is
finally allowed.
insane though, man. I want to
Well,
believe
100
that,
trillion. That would
right?
be 100 trillion would be $7 million.
Oh, 100 trillion would be
So
7 million. I thought you said
yeah,
800 trillion. I'm like, that's
yeah.
insane.
People
Okay,
call me
100
nuts, dude.
trillion.
But look at this chart, right? So this is
100,
Plan B's
100
chart.
trillion I could see, but I don't know about 2030. But I could definitely see that happening for sure.
So this is Plan B's chart, and this is the stock to flow, and this is something that he took from gold and kind of moves it to Bitcoin. So you see in every single cycle, we go above the target and kind of come down, all on this line here. So right now, and it's always above the line that goes under the line, above the line, go under the line, and he's kind of predicting right here. He's predicting between 500 and 700K. He thinks Bitcoin's going to come up here, touch here, come back down, and we're going to sit here. If you look at this line right here. This line is sitting around 700 trillion. I mean, I'm sorry, $700,000. I'm sorry, $7 million.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So this is 700K, and this is 7 million by potentially 2029, 2030.
We haven't seen Bitcoin spike yet, but you think it'll spike up to 700K possibly, like your rational exuberance. We'll hit that eventually, and
I think everyone's going to be saying it's going to hit 1 million. It's going to hit 1 million. It's going to go up, touch 60.
Oh, really? You think we're going to be in that narrative this cycle? It's going to hit 1 million.
You got to think about who's coming in right now. You're going to have pension funds coming in. You're going to have countries coming in. It's going to be a race. And if the US gets, like, a lot of senators come in and they're saying they want buy what is it? I think 2 million Bitcoin, right? If that happens, or 1 million Bitcoin or something like that, if that happens, 200,000 a year, if the US is openly buying Bitcoin, 200,000 Bitcoin a year, I mean, what that's going to do is Canada has to buy it, Mexico has to buy it, Brazil has to buy it, Venezuela has to buy it. Like, you're going to see a rush into Bitcoin. And what does Bitcoin do? In 4 years, it goes from 3.15 down to 1.5 Bitcoin every 10 minutes. Bitcoin's going to be in the millions of dollars in the 30s for sure.
Damn.
That's us.
I'm not disagreeing. Obviously I have a big allocation in Bitcoin for myself, but I'm just like, that would be insane, man.
Bitcoin will become the number one asset in the world in the early 30s.
No, number one. Okay, but I don't think that's not crazy to say. I think that makes sense, because then it's over gold, right? And gold will be 30 trillion, you think, by then?
Yeah, I think gold doubles. Gold's sitting around 3,500. I think gold can hit $7,000. I'm sorry, yeah, $7,000 potentially in the next 2 years. And then you're going to see Bitcoin potentially go ape shit and get that 700K number. It's going to put
this is
gold
also
at 30 trillion.
This is tough to read because this is euros. I think gold could actually get to 40 trillion, right? Because this is like maybe 20 trillion right here in dollars.
You think so?
18.
Yeah,
18, something like that.
Yeah.
Because like Bitcoin is 70,000 and it's like 92,000 right now, right? So like, I think it's about.
I think it's like 1 point. So yours is a little bit more expensive than that dollar. So the dollar, this is probably like 1.2 or like 1.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like 20% difference.
So I still think, potentially if we do it in euros as well, I still think that gold gets to, potentially 30 trillion euros, and Bitcoin's kind of sitting at 10 trillion for this cycle. And then next cycle, I think Bitcoin can hit, potentially 70 trillion at that point. If not, well, 100 trillion. So we'll see.
And that's the 2028 to 2000, or the 2028 to 2032 cycle.
Yep. But we'll see.
I do think it will happen, but like more so till end of 2030. But that's still like, still gives Bitcoin a lot of love. I'm giving it a lot of love, to reach 5 million by 2040. That's 15 years. That's more than a 20x in 15 years, which is amazing still. So Wait,
100%.
yeah. So yeah, like you said, we'll see. We got some time. Hopefully, we can live for that long, and be able to see it and witness it.
I mean,
No, I'm
I'm
joking.
hoping I live for another 4 years. But we'll see.
It's a
No, I'm just kidding.
it's a blessing every day we get to live.
Yeah, 100%. The next thing here is a very short-term market. So this is Dave the Wave, somebody I've been following for a long time. He's calling a head and shoulders a reverse head and shoulders pattern here for Bitcoin, which takes the price up to 160,000. And his time frame is Q3, between September and November here. What do you think about this? Do you think Bitcoin can go on this rally here? I mean, it's like there's so many charts. Like Bitcoin's kind of following gold. Bitcoin's following the empty money supply. You have reverse head and shoulders on the daily here, going all the way back to early 2025. What do you think, man? Think 160?
Yeah, honestly, I'm actually I'm actually kind of a big fan of technical analysis if you know how to do it.
Yeah.
Like I don't really know how to do it that well, but people that actually know the different patterns and the different indicators that can help them, especially like the Fibonacci. I see he's pretty good at that.
Yeah.
I think this could hold up for sure. The thing is, like the wicks, I don't know, it might wick up to 160 and then be really at 140, right? Are you really able to like sell if you really wanted to at 160? Probably not. You would have to be in front of your computer all day. But yeah, like still getting to 140, 150 is amazing, right? So I'm happy either way. I don't think I'm going to sell my Bitcoin, but it'll be cool just to like, I'm 50, X amount of dollars richer, so.
Yeah,
but
I think selling your Bitcoin in the next 10 years is going to be the stupidest decision anyone can
yeah,
make,
exactly. I'm not going to sell it, but
if I do sell my
whatever.
Bitcoin, it'll be get into potentially things like Trac or Tap or other assets that potentially I could sell going into next May and potentially get more Bitcoin for it, right? That's the only reason why I would trade my Bitcoin is potentially getting, let's just say I think Bitcoin I think it's going to do well, but maybe another 50-80%. But I can get in something that's going to 10x, 20x, and then take that profits and put them back in the Bitcoin. Because at the end of the day, they're all on the Bitcoin network and stuff like that. So that's kind of reason why I'm so bullish on the Bitcoin network, because I can actually take my assets and trade them back in the Bitcoin for more Bitcoin than I sold it for.
Yeah, that's a good mentality to have. That's why people like altcoins, but that's also why Bitcoin native assets are, made a big run in 2023 and 2024, because they wanted exposure in that realm too, where like here, I think Bitcoin is it went up 15K to already 60K. Like, I don't think that's already 4X. I don't think it's going to go up much more. Right. So yeah, no, I agree. And we saw a lot of appetite for Bitcoin assets around that. Or I would say, honestly, it's funny because we saw a big appetite for Bitcoin assets around that 30K mark. That's when we saw like that big like summer, Ordinal summer or whatever it was.
Yeah.
We saw a big appetite from Bitcoin at that 30 to like 40K range. And I was like, oh wow, when Bitcoin's at like 70, 80K, Ordinals, this whole Bitcoin, like this whole ecosystem is going to go insane. And it didn't do as good as I thought it would do. Honestly.
Yeah.
I was surprised by that.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, I think, I do think that, we've had a sideways momentum, but, I think the momentum definitely comes back. I think, when Bitcoin's not doing well, right, or when Bitcoin's doing too well, people are sitting on the sideline, and we talk to a lot of our people from the East, and they go, why would I trade my Bitcoin when I think it's going to go up? Like, it's hard for people to let go of their Bitcoin right now, because how do you buy Bitcoin assets? You need Bitcoin. Right, you can't buy with your credit card. You can't buy with well, not yet anyway, until we get some stable coins and stuff like that. I mean, you guys already have them over there, but like the only really way to buy Bitcoin native assets is using your Bitcoin. So you have to actually give up your Bitcoin for these assets, and people just don't want to do that right now. But I do feel like the risk on momentum is going to come back. It's going to come back very quickly.
Yeah, I think BTC Fi is going to be a big narrative. In the next 5 years, and maybe even possibly the cycle. And I think that's, and like you said, stable coins come over to Bitcoin. And I think we're trying to do something where we're bringing stable coins over, whether it be, Tether or some of these other ones from other chains. that's something that it's a priority and is really important for us and for the whole. It has to be important for the whole BTCFi ecosystem to survive. So
Yeah.
I remember there was a couple like native Bitcoin stablecoins trying to be created, but I don't know if how well that has done. But I
There's
do
a few.
think
Yeah.
there's a few, right?
There's Hermetica, and then there's, but they're not really getting. Hermetica is being used a lot on stacks, but nothing else really. I mean, BAMP never really. I don't think anyone holds NUSD right now, but we'll see.
That's a big thing. You're right. Like stablecoins will be huge on Bitcoin, and we all know that. So we're just kind of just waiting around, seeing who's going to do it.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I do really like the BTC Fi. I think that can be a huge narrative boost for this whole native Bitcoin ecosystem, native asset Bitcoin
100%.
ecosystem. Yeah.
We'll get into this last thing here. Tesla buys Bitcoin in 2021, right? They bought 1.5 billion worth, which then was 42,902 Bitcoin. Average price was 34K. Tesla then sells a month later. So they pumped the price in 2020. I didn't know this until I was doing research this morning. So they pumped the price in February and then sold in March. They sold at 59K. They sold not too much. They sold about a little bit, which is at about $128 million profit on on that. And then the dump comes. 2022 bear market year for Bitcoin. Tesla dumps 75% of their holdings, which is at this point probably like 80% of their initial buy purchase. They sold around 29K. So they actually took a loss on most of their Bitcoin. But Elon Musk reveals at the shareholder conference yesterday that they're still holding their 11,509 Bitcoin worth 107. So they bought, they sold 75%, but they're still holding 11,000. I bet Elon hates the fact that they could be sitting on right now potentially $4-5 billion worth of Bitcoin, but instead they got paper hands and they sold about 90% of their Bitcoin here.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that. I knew they sold, but like I didn't realize they sold almost 80% of their bag that they bought.
Yep. Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Dude had paper hands.
They bought 42,000 and they're sitting on 11,000. So about 76% they sold now. So but they're still holding, right? So they haven't sold. So sitting at what was it, 92K yesterday at the conference. So but this is another catalyst that no one's really talking about is Tesla coming out and saying, hey, we're buying Bitcoin, right? Yeah, I mean you potentially Apple. Come out and say, hey, we're buying Bitcoin here. Nvidia, like all these companies are sitting on a lot of dollars, right? And if we go into quantitative easing, these countries might say, hey, they're printing again. Maybe let's go into a harder asset. Maybe that is kind of why that I'm thinking some of these companies go into gold. That's why I think gold doubles by the end of next year. And this is kind of why I think Bitcoin's going to hit 700K is because not only countries, it's going to be treasuries of these companies that are, I mean, I think Apple's sitting on like $2 trillion in cash, right? Like something crazy like that, or something insane.
Something insane.
No, I'm sorry. $2 billion in cash. Yeah, $2 billion.
Even more.
Yeah.
No, even more than that. Even
Is
more.
It?
At one point, they were sitting at like 400 billion 5 years ago in cash. So I'm assuming they're like
1% of that. 1% of that in Bitcoin, right? So you could actually see a massive explosion there as well, man. But
yeah, I mean that would be insane. Like I don't disagree with all of that. I don't know when we'll be in QE again. I'll be honest. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I know it's happening worldwide. Everywhere. Like China's doing it, Europe is doing it again. So it's a matter of time when we will do it. But typically when we do it is we wait for things to break in the system. I feel like, unless I'm wrong, but I feel like we typically wait for things to break and then we're like, all right, we're like, there's like, we don't listen to leading indicators. We listen to lagging indicators, and that and that never positions us well and for the future. And that's why we always have something break, and yeah, man. So I don't know personally if we end up doing QE anytime soon, but I think it can all change with the snap of a finger, to be honest with you. Yeah, and by the way, Apple has 100 billion in cash. I looked up there.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
A lot.
Incredible.
A lot.
Dude, I mean, think about that. They put 5%, right? 5% of that into Bitcoin. 5%. Like,
it's a lot of money.
I don't know.
That's a lot of Bitcoin.
That's
like 55,000 Bitcoin right now.
Bitcoin's going to run, bro, and it's going to run hard. It's going to run hard. I think this is just the beginning. I think
And
potentially could go up, sideways, but I think we go into mid next year and we're sitting there and Bitcoin's still underpriced.
you know what's also beautiful too, man? Like, and this is like, so it wasn't supposed to be this way, but 4 million is missing. You know what I mean? 1 million from Satoshi, a couple million have been lost, or maybe 3 million is lost, right? And then there's a million that still haven't been mined yet. So it's like there's literally only like 16 million right now circulating, and so many. I think BlackRock holds, a couple 100,000. This U.S. government holds a couple 200,000. Chinese government holds a couple. Like, just by the big boys, they hold like 2 million themselves. The big boys 2 to 3 million. So.
Yeah, it's, I mean, think about it. It's probably only like 17, to your point. Yeah, 16, 17 million actually Bitcoin that are actually out there. Because we do know that Satoshi has 22,000 wallets, and each wallet has 50 Bitcoin in it. So, and it's hard to say which wallets are his and which aren't. You can go back to how Finney got online. Yeah. So if you go to type in Satoshi's wallet, it's going to say 50 Bitcoin. So every Satoshi, like, there's no wallet that has like a million in it with Satoshis. No, what he was doing is every time he won a block, it was going to it might have been the same set of keys, but it was a different wallet address. So what he was doing was he was just kind of I don't know if he was testing something out. I don't know what he was exactly doing, but every time Satoshi won a block between, the time that it went online to the time that Hal Finney got on, because Hal Finney was the first person other than Satoshi. I think it was a part of Satoshi. I think it's Adam Back.
It's a group of people, right?
And
I agree
Adam
with
Back,
that.
Nick Savos, and
you saw
Hal
that.
Finney.
You saw the documentary on HBO.
Yeah, I don't think it's that guy.
I don't think it's that guy either, but I do think it's Adam Back and like that whole Blockstream crew.
Yeah,
I think that's what they're called, right? Yeah,
Blockstream. I 100% definitely think that. But man, we're about to hit that hour mark, and I know you have a hard stop, so I really appreciate you helping me out today. And guys, go check them out at Adev. I said your name right, Adev, right?
Yeah, perfect, man.
Okay.
It's not Adev. A lot of people think it's Adev, which I get that. I've got that my whole life, and then people think it's like a meme. Like, I'm just like, oh, is that a meme, Adev? But no,
man, if you were a developer, bro, you have the perfect name. It's
I should have went the developer route, man. I messed up. My whole life is messed up now.
There's still time, bro. There's still time. I can learn something new tomorrow, especially with the way AI is teaching. Yeah, man. For sure. But guys, go check them out. Yeah, it's 1,360 followers. Let's get into 2,000. Really appreciate you. And definitely check out everything they're building over at Trac. And so definitely, you guys have any updates, man, please reach out. We would love to kind of cover it as much as possible. Ain't many people doing it, but we would love to.
Maybe we'll come on before Hypermall, or maybe after Hypermall release.
Yeah,
we can do another episode. That'd be awesome.
Hey, dude, I would love to demo it before it's released if you guys are down. But thank you again, man. Really appreciate you giving us my audience the time.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
See you, bud.
See you.
Absolutely awesome. Thank you so much again for helping us out. But let's kind of get into some other stuff here. We got a lot of some stuff on the docket here. So we got into Tesla stuff. Let's kind of get into SEC Chairman Paul Atkins says he will ensure that the U.S. is the best and most secure place in the world to invest and do business. Michael Saylor says that new SEC Chairman Paul Atkins will be good for Bitcoin. So we had this thing in 2020. I think it was February or 2021. February 2021, a man named Gary Gensler came in. And I was somebody who sat there and I was excited for Gary Gensler, being someone who just got in Bitcoin in 2020. I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. Like, this guy's a Bitcoiner, right? He taught Bitcoin at MIT. He ended up being somebody not good for crypto. Yes, he got the Bitcoin ETF approved, but it was 4 years, 2.5 years of hell dealing with Gary Gensler, dealing with Elizabeth Warren's anti-crypto army, but we got through it, right? So now we kind of had this interim SEC chairman, but now we got Paul Atkins. So Paul Atkins right now has 72 crypto-themed ETFs await his approval. So they haven't pushed any crypto ETFs through besides Ethereum and besides Bitcoin, right? So Gary Gensler was still around when they approved the Bitcoin. Gary Gensler was around when they approved Ethereum. Gary Gensler is gone. They haven't approved anything at all since that. So we're kind of waiting for Paul Atkins to take his spot. Paul Atkins is in. There's 72 crypto-themed ETFs. Solana, Aptos, XRP, Doge, and so many more. I actually have an image right here to kind of show you guys. This is all the ETFs. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. And of course, X doesn't like me, but there are so many. You have, some with, just crypto-backed companies in there, whole bunch of other stuff, right? So 72 ETFs kind of sitting on Paul Atkins' desk, waiting for him to take office. Let's see what he does, right? If he's hopefully he's not this Bitcoin maxi and he doesn't quickly approve these. I think we once we get these approved, we could absolutely skyrocket, guys. The crypto ecosystem could actually moon incredibly. I mean, I feel like we are so held down right now. We're so coiled backwards. We're so just manipulated down that one of these ETFs get approval, it'll be the stamp of approval of not just like ETF on the market, but it's the stamp approval of the United States saying these are legit assets. And if we can get these legit assets to be, looked at as secured investments to some of these bigger players, we're going to skyrocket, guys. I'm thinking alt season is going to be absolutely insane. It's going to be pretty wild. Really looking forward to that. PayPal has announced that it will offer U.S. users a 3.7 annual yield on balances held in its PYUSD stablecoin. So think about this, right? Why hold a bond anymore when you can hold PayPal USD and get yield of 3.7? Imagine that, right? It's just you're sitting on potentially, let's just say $100,000. I mean, you're getting $3,700 for free. It's sitting there for a whole year. I mean, that is insane. And, times that by 10, right? You're sitting on $1 million and you're getting $30,000 a year, right? Just sitting in a stable coin. No ups, no downs. Very safe. I mean, PayPal ain't going nowhere. This isn't USDC, right? This isn't something that's going to dip the peg. This is PayPal. This is massive, guys. I don't think other people understand how big this is. And this is just the beginning, right? Who knows what some of these other APYs can get. And it's going to be a competition, right? It's going to be a competition. Stablecoin competition is going to be strong and it's going to be fierce. And APYs can get insane with some of these stablecoins for sure here. But let's kind of get into the fear and greed here. So it's been very, very fearful the last couple months, right? But we're finally in the greed here. This is absolutely insane. I can't wait to show you guys this. So we were sitting last week at a 29. Yesterday was a 47. We're at a 72. We're at a 72 in the Bitcoin crypto fear and greed right now. Absolutely exciting. Absolutely insane. I am happy, guys. I'm happy. Yeah, we're having, I wouldn't even call it a pullback. I mean, Bitcoin's sitting at 93,000. So it really isn't a pullback, guys. We could be in the 90s next week. We could be in the 90s next week on Bitcoin fear and greed. People are greedy, guys. It is time. It is time. And we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin price action right now. Bitcoin price action is brought to you guys by Artura. Artura.finance is the website, guys. These guys are going to go on mainnet really soon. And the mainnet of choice is going to be Hemi. Hemi is a blockchain backed by Binance, right? So what's going to happen? They're going to have a token, right? So when they have a token, how do you get their token? By using the chain. How do you use the chain? Well, you're going to use Artura.finance, right? So you're going to actually earn the Artura.finance airdrop, but also going to be earning the Hemi airdrop. I mean, this is all kind of speculations. It's kind of what I see. But, I've been around for a long time and I kind of see the same things over and over and over. And it's all kind of pointing that way. So I definitely want you guys to go check that out. And definitely check out everything about Artura. We actually recently did a video, like a trading. We're kind of going around and interviewing traders and kind of getting their perspective. And I'm actually learning. We had Landy on the show last week. This week we have Mr. BRC, leverage trader, pump.fun trader. It was an awesome interview. We're going to have that out this week as well. So check that out. But guys, I want you guys to go over and check out Artura.finance. Amazing, guys. But let's kind of get into the Bitcoin price action here. Really, I mean, it looks insane, guys. I mean, look at this chart right now. I mean, we saw this breakout form over here and just go parabolic, sideways, boom, 2 days, 3 days, boom. And today we're getting a little bit of pullback, very healthy correction. I wouldn't even call it a correction, a very healthy pause, I guess you would say, before we get some upward momentum, guys. I think we are about to explode in May. I think in May, we're going to hit that all-time high of 109, past that, getting that 110 range, and then sky's the limit. We're going to see what happened in December happen again here, and we're going to see it happen quick, and it's going to happen fast, and you need to be prepared for it. How do you be prepared for it, right? So maybe you're sitting and looking at Bitcoin, and you're like, damn, is this going to go up, what, 100% over the course of this year? I think so. I think 180 this year is definitely on the table, if not higher. But let's start looking into other assets, right? You got Ethereum sitting there, and the ETH Bitcoin chart has been so destroyed. I mean, this thing has been absolutely destroyed, guys. So this might be something to potentially start looking into. It is home. It is sitting there. This is Benjamin Cohen. Benjamin Cohen was saying between 0.1 and 0.2, 0.01 to 0.02 per Ethereum. So each 0.02 Bitcoin right now will get you one full Ethereum. So so we will see. I think this kind of reverse, and you can kind of go back, right? Let's go back a little bit to, I want to say, the last bull run, right? You had potentially one of the greatest ETH Bitcoin trades ever happening. So let's just take it back. You see just get killed and go sideways, right? Just sideways, 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 sideways. Very similar to what I think potentially we're seeing now, and then going to see upward momentum. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be absolutely insane going into this. So really excited to see what happens next with ETH Bitcoin. So look forward to that. All right, let's kind of jump into some crypto bubbles here. The bubbles look absolutely amazing, guys. The bubbles look like they're about to explode. I mean, you got Sui up 41%, Hex up 20%, Hyperliquid up 17%, PulseX 50%. I mean, look at this. This is TAL is up 42% this week. That is absolutely incredible. I was telling people to buy that thing at $190. It is over $330 now. Fartcoin with another insane week, up 21% on the week. Dogecoin up 15%. Stacks up 34%. I mean, this is incredible. But if you take it down to between 100 and 200, you are seeing insanity. Deep is up 128%. Turbo's up 169%. Pengu is up 61% this week. Brett is up 50%. This is insanity, guys. This is what I mean. A lot of these coins are whooped, right? A lot of these coins are down 90% from December, and they're pushing back up here. Virtual's up 44% this week, but this is something we've needed, guys. This is something we needed, this relief, and it looks like we got it here. We finally got relief, and it is looking phenomenal right now. You got Kusama up 23%. Yeah, so let's just drop it down another one. Let's kind of see what's going on between 200 and 300 here. Yeah, so you're seeing more, just all green. Everything is green on the week. Everything. It feels good. It definitely feels good to kind of see some green that's happening right now. Nero up 248%. Magic up 186%. I wonder what's going on with Magic. Magic's something that I was looking at a while back. So it was really hit hard because Arbitrum, the whole ecosystem was kind of hit hard after their airdrop. But we'll see if they can kind of keep moving up. Yeah, very exciting times to be in crypto. Hopefully this get Bitcoin to kind of keep going up, and we can kind of keep pushing up there. So really exciting times. But let's kind of get into the roll call here. A little late, but better than late, but but better than never for sure. We got my boy Danny Boy. Congratulations, Danny. I see you in the chat, my friend. You are number one again. Let's see how many you got here. Let's drop it down. So Danny Boy officially got number 20. Shout out to Danny Boy. I'll put that D in there, and then give you your 20th victory of the year. Congratulations, my friend. Absolutely amazing. We actually add 425 here for Friday. All right. So we got two more days of this week left. And let's see, man. But guys, if anyone could still make this list, anybody is still in the running to potentially win this Bitcoin frog. But my boy Danny, He's killing it. Shout out to Danny, bro. He's 20 now. Yep. 20. You got my friend. ASAP Benji is here. Says, come on, Danny, take a break. Danny says, I saw Lackey go for it first in the Foxy video, so I had to go for this one. Shout out to you. Yeah, the Foxy videos don't count, guys. It has to be the daily live stream at 11, the one that starts at 11 a.m. Eastern every day. Danny says, ASAP, I will be on Monday. I'll be working, so y'all gonna catch up. I promise. Yeah, man. Matt says, share some wins with me, Danny. Nabob is here. Shout out to Nabob. Danny Boy says, it's my last week of wins. I wouldn't have tried today, but so lucky. He keeps trying to snipe me. Absolutely awesome. Malam Yuri is here. Bitcoin is ripping. Yup. Danny says, Danny Boy D Blocks, well done. WebDro says, Danny Boy D Blocks, well done, Danny Boy. PJNZ says, take the frog. Plenty of time, guys. Plenty of time. Mempool Punk is here. Shout out to Mempool Punk. Chips and dip. Shout out to you, my friends. Says yo. Nighthawk is here. Shout out to Nighthawk. Says GM. By the way, driving Hell Money podcast around was just a warm up. Next up, I'll be driving Shizzy and Yago. Be confessing in my Uber. I don't know about that, man. I know you got a camera there. Taxi cab confessions all over again. Shout out to Nighthawk. Glasshopper is here. Shout out to Glasshopper GM. Everyone. Mo Chains is number one. Then my guy Superfan hops in with a GM. Shout out to Superfan. And we have Chief Axel is here. Steamy J is here. Mo Chain is here. Shout out to Mo Chain. He says, men, the daily token unlocks with tap. Painful. The reason I sold at 3, but the project is amazing. Yeah, man. Like Lucas says, GM. And we have her friend Wrench is here. And we got William Alexander is here. Shout out to both of you guys. Danny Boy finishing up. He said, we up, y'all. Yeah, man. We're finally up, man. We're finally up, Danny. Appreciate you being here, man. The chat has been dead this week. I don't know what is going on. I appreciate every single one of you guys who makes roll call every single day. But let's kind of get into some other stuff here. So XRP Ledger Foundation discovers a security breach in the JavaScript library used to interact with the XRP Ledger that could steal crypto private keys. Yeah, XRP. I don't know if this was something that they were using internally and it just got pushed out, but I don't know. But just be careful, guys. If you do have some XRP, you're definitely going to want to make sure that your ledger is good, that make sure your stuff is still there. Really hope nothing happens to you guys, man, but we will see. But I think that's our show for you guys today, man. If you guys wouldn't mind checking out our partners, let's kind of get into what they're building over at BetBTC. So every Wednesday, we like to just showcase the guys over at BetBTC. These guys are building a predictions market on Bitcoin, but not just that. They're building so much more. So right now, you guys can come over here. You guys can sign in. And I highly recommend everyone sign in with their Bitcoin wallet. Maybe, if you're not interested in doing this, but just signing in get you guys potentially the airdrop. And I want you guys to succeed. I want you guys to get this airdrop. So sign in here, get the airdrop. And potentially, if you guys are interested in playing around with the Blitz Markets is kind of cool. I've been playing with it, but there's some major upgrades coming to BetBTC, guys. Major upgrades are coming, and it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be some really phenomenal stuff here. Definitely want you guys to go check out everything that is happening with BetBTC and everything. Yeah, so look out for that. They're going to be able to challenge friends, do a lot of really cool stuff, and we're going to be doing some stuff with them. Really appreciate them as our partner. Go check them out, guys, and that is BetBTC.win. I appreciate you guys. And if you guys have some time, go check out what Emblem Vault's building, guys. Emblem Vault is building Agent Hustle. Agent Hustle is phenomenal. If you guys trade on Solana, you got to do it through Agent Hustle. Deposit the Bitcoin in the Agent Hustle. Let him do everything for you. Why do anything anymore when you can have the Hustle King do it for you? So you just come here, say, Hustle, I'm going to turn my $10 into 100. How can I do it? Hustle will give you an options. He'll give you some options, guys, and give you the opportunity to make some decisions using Hustle and using everything they're doing. Go check out agenthustle.ai, guys. And then we just mentioned BetBTC. Check those guys out. Artura, talking with them earlier. The guys are going to be on Hemi. Definitely keep an eye on them. And then, guys, go check out what they're doing over on Fluid. If you guys had a Fluid pass staked, you guys need to go over there and unstake your pass, because what that's going to do is it's going to give you the FLDT rune. I was lucky enough to get a nice portion of that. I got I think $1,400 in free money by staking it. I went and bought up a bunch of passes over there, but they do have a new vault that's open right now. You guys can go check that out, the Omen Season 2. So if you're holding an Omen, you guys can potentially stake it and earn. So there's about you're going to be earning the OMNI token. And yeah, so you'll be able to earn that by staking your Omen. So absolutely awesome. I think it's, what are you staking exactly? I think it's staking the rewards. I think you're staking the Omen token, or is it the NFT? Select Ordinals. Yeah, it might be the NFT. But check that out, guys. And remember, if you guys have something staked right there, go to your staked. I had my my 20 claim rewards. Claim it. Get your stuff out of there, guys. And then the dog unlocks May 26th. So you guys want to go check that out when dog unlocks. I'm getting about 100,000 of free runes. Really excited for that. And that'll be in 33 days and 7 hours. But check out everything they're building over at Fluid. And remember, Merlin Chain. They're building the Wizards coming out, guys. I love that, like, all these guys are just building right now. I've seen a lot of really cool stuff coming, and it's really going to blow minds. I mean, you're going to be able to do everything with the Merlin Wizard. You won't have to do anything anymore. You'll go over there, and he can do everything for you. Merlin Wizard's going to be dropping really soon, probably within a month or so. Really looking forward to everything they're bringing with that. And then check out our integrated partners, Foxy. Foxy building I mean, it's a whole district of games now. They were building, just a Cypher Striker and a couple other games, but now they got Bitcoin Derby. Got so much more, guys. Really looking forward to what they're building there, and really excited. If you guys didn't have a chance to catch our video yesterday, we did a live stream with them. So, guys, go check that out as well. And if you guys wouldn't mind checking out Ordinal Hive, it's beta.ordinalhive.io. These guys are building the fastest place to go buy your ordinals and stuff like that. So they're an aggregator. So there's no reason to go to any other site but Ordinal Hive, and you're gonna get the cheapest ordinal. You want a puppet? Get the cheapest one. You want Runestone? Get the cheapest one. You get them all through ordinalhive.io. But guys, that is our show for today. Really appreciate every single one of you guys. Oh yeah, one more thing. Check out OnChain Revolution.io. That is our website. And we have some of the best articles dating all the way back to last year. If you know someone just entering the space, please send them our website. Really feel like can help them get started and code up to where we are today. If you guys are looking for a VPN, NordVPN, 70% off coupon. Do not waste time with other VPNs. Nord is the best. I promise you it's the best. I use them all, and you get it right now for about $3 a month. Lock that in for a whole year. I think I paid $36 for the whole year. Definitely check out everything there at onchainrevolution.io. Yeah, really appreciate you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
On-chain. Hey, on-chain revolution. Bitcoin not an on-chain revolution. Roll call. Market recap. You not bullish enough. No. You're not bullish enough. No. Look at the price go. Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. On-chain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed, gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. On-chain revolution.